guys, how's it going? I hope you're having a very good day. For today's video, I'm here to do another book review, finally, and that's going to be on the Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis. And as you can see here, I have the box set. This is from the cover of Prince Caspian, I believe, and this is the cover from the last book, The Last Battle. So I'll talk about the individual books later on in this review when I talk about the controversial reading order, whether you should check it out in the original publication order or the new chronological order. Yeah, we'll get into it. So if you don't know what the Chronicles of Narnia is all about, it is a children/middle grade fantasy series. However, I would say some of the content in the book, some of the dialogue, not so middle grade and or children appropriate, I would say. Maybe. Yes, I was definitely quite surprised by some of the content in the book, but overall I really enjoyed the reads. The Chronicles of Narnia follows different children and their ventures into the land of Narnia. So first of all, I want to talk to you guys about the characters. First of all, you have Aslan, of course, who is the lion, who is the almighty and amazing. He instills awe and fear within you. Aslan is a definite BAMF. The other characters you will encounter, of course, are the Narnians, those who inhabit Narnia. That includes the talking animals. You also have all of these awesome fantastical creatures, including satyrs and centaurs. You have nymphs and dryads, unicorns, flying horses, trolls, gnomes, giants, werewolves, what have you. They're all there. They're all within this fantastical land. And then we have the humans. Sometimes the Narnians refer to them as the sons of Adam or the daughters of Eve. And of course, within each book there is a bad guy, antagonist, villain, and ass. No offense, Puzzle. There's definitely one character who's just annoying, but of course that leaves room for some awesome character development for that particular character. I think my favorite characters though would have to be the Narnians. They are so fun to read. I would say my all-time favorite characters include Reepicheep the mouse. He is such a chivalrous character. He has a code, he has honor. Once you have Reepicheep's loyalty, he will stand by your side. My other favorite character, I would have to give it to the Marshwiggle, Mr. Puddleglum. He kind of reminded me of a mix between socially awkward and socially awesome Penguin. The kids who are in Puddleglum's company say he's a wet blanket and can be kind of depressing, which is true, but I found him kind of funny. There's this one part in the book where Puddleglum is guiding the kids along this precipice and they look down and see a ravine at the bottom, and he says quite casually, "Hey, at least if we fall over this precipice, we'll break our necks before drowning in the ravine below." So he tries really hard to see the silver linings in everything. There are definitely jaw-dropping moments with Mr. Puddleglum, but he was great. Next, guys, let's talk about the plot of the Chronicles of Narnia. For the most part, I thought each of the books were quite well paced. These stories are what daydreams are made of. They are so fantastical and out of this world. I thought each of the books had memorable imagery and characters, which is really great. After reading all of the books, I was trying to figure out which is my favorite book. I would say my least favorite book is Prince Caspian. I didn't feel that adventure in particular was as adventurous as the other books. As far as fantastical concepts are concerned, The Magician's Nephew is really great. It's about how Narnia came to be. As far as story is concerned, I really enjoyed The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. C.S. Lewis packs a lot in such a short book, so I thought that was fantastic as well. Also, what I noticed a lot were the allusions to Christianity, symbolisms of Christianity. There's also even direct references to it as well. Like I said, the sons of Adam and the daughters of Eve. Just thought I would throw it out there because I noticed it and I thought it would be worth mentioning. So now, guys, let's talk about the controversial reading order, whether you should read it in its original publication order, which is The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Next is Prince Caspian. After that is The Voyage of Don Treader. After that is The Silver Chair. Next is The Horse and His Boy. After that is The Magician's Nephew. And of course, the last book, and aptly named, is The Last Battle. So that's the original publication order. And recently, I would say, I think in the mid-90s, it was republished in chronological order. So chronological order, it is first The Magician's Nephew, then The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, then The Horse and His Boy, then Prince Caspian, The Voyage of Don Treader, and The Silver Chair, and lastly, of course, is The Last Battle. So the only main difference between the two reading orders are these two freaking books, The Magician's Nephew and The Horse and His Boy. First of all, how I read the series was a mix of both, you could say. I initially started reading it in its chronological order, starting with The Magician's Nephew, and after I finished this book, I kind of went back and thought, why don't we try the publication order? I didn't read The Horse and His Boy till right before the last battle, and I'm satisfied in how I read it. I feel if you read The Magician's Nephew first, it becomes more nostalgic when you read the last battle. It definitely comes full circle. It's just The Horse and His Boy. I think whenever you do read this book, it will kind of break the continuity between the other books that sandwich it. Either way, I think it's kind of weird whenever you read it, but it's a solid story though. Solid characters. Yeah, it's really great. Bottom line, either way, I think you'll enjoy the story. Anyways, guys, with all of that being said, I'm going to give the Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis 4 stars out of 5. I really enjoyed each of the books. I thought the adventures were so fantastical. Each book wraps up really nicely at the end of each book, so there's no crazy cliffhangers or anything, so I wasn't like in a rush to read the next book right away. I think what was messing me up was that I wanted to read the books in how the author intended the books to be read, because you want to have the best reading experience, and people say that C.S. Lewis preferred it in the chronological order, but you could debate against that. Either way, just read the books. And lastly, guys, I'm going to get into the spoilers of the Chronicles of Narnia. More specifically, I'm going to talk about the last battle and what went down at the very end of this book. And I highly suggest, if you want to read this series, please skip the spoilers, because I think this particular spoil, it will kind of change your perspective on the earlier books. So that might change how you see the adventures. So seriously, skip the spoilers. Or if you just don't care, then feel free to watch. But if you want to skip the spoilers, definitely click on this annotation below. There you'll jump to the end of the video where I talk about 3 more books I want to read, but I need your help in choosing what I should read next. And the theme is graphic novels, because I want to change up the pace where I could read like right now and finish it like right now. So definitely jump at the end of the video and see what kind of books I have in mind. So let's talk about the spoilers of the last battle, specifically the end. They die. All of them die. Except Susan, because she wasn't a friend of Narnia anymore. She stopped believing. She stopped believing. So when we find out that they died because of the train ride these characters were on, my heart broke. Because if you interpret the ending how I did, it seems like Narnia didn't exist, and it was all a part of these kids' imagination. And you may be thinking, and this is what I thought too, of course it's happening inside of your head, Harry, but why on earth should that mean that it is not real? I really wanted Narnia to be real. Like real. Like really real. But apparently it's not. You know, it's happy, kind of, because all of our favorite characters meet at the very end, but we know that they're all dead. And it just kind of changed my perspective on the beginning adventures, because you think like, oh, this new world, it's real. So those are just my brief thoughts on the last book. So now I want to talk about the next potential reads that you guys get to vote on. So for each choice, I'm going to be reading 2 graphic novels because I can read them really quickly. So the first choice you could vote on is Saga. The author is Brian K. Vaughan and the artist is Fiona Staples. A lot of people have referred to the series as a mix of Game of Thrones and Star Wars, or Lord of the Rings and Romeo and Juliet. It's a fantasy space opera series, which sounds really great. The 2 main characters are from long warring species, and they are trying to get away from this war and try to raise their daughter. I've been highly recommended this series, so that's a potential choice you guys could vote for if you're interested. The next choice you could vote on is Boxers and Saints. These 2 graphic novels are by Jean Luen Yang. Boxer follows the story of a boy named Little Bao, and he eventually leads a rebellion, while the graphic novel Saints follows the story of a girl who becomes a Christian and hopes to have the glory similar to that of Joan of Arc. These 2 graphic novels is historical fiction. I've just been hearing a lot of buzz about these books, including Rincey Reads and Melissa Books, and people have been saying that these 2 stories have been on people's top list, not just as graphic novels, but as stories in general. So that sounds amazing. And the last choice you can vote on are contemporary graphic novels. Both of these these novels have been illustrated by Faith Evan Hicks. I just really enjoy her illustration style. So one of the comics she illustrated is Nothing Can Possibly Go Wrong, and the author for that one is Prudence Shen. The story follows two best friends. One is a laid-back basketball captain, the other is the captain of the robotics team. And these two best friends wage a war against the cheerleaders, and the stake is the funds to hold a robotic competition, or these funds can be used to purchase new cheerleader uniforms. So that sounds like a really fun read. And the other book is Friends with Boys, and this was both written and illustrated by Faith Evan Hicks. It follows a girl who is our protagonist, and she has an idyllic homeschool life until she has to go and face the real world when she attends high school. All the while, she has to solve some sort of mystery involving a ghost that has been following her entire life. So that sounds really interesting. It sounds like she's been quite sheltered. She doesn't know what's going on out in the real world, so I'm hoping hilarity will ensue. So those are your three choices, guys. I will leave a link in the description box below where you will head over to my main website, and I'll have a poll set up where you could vote on one of these three choices. So definitely check that out. You have 24 hours to vote. No, I will leave timeline in the description box below also, so definitely check that out. Anyways, guys, I hope you really enjoyed this book review of the Chronicles of Narnia. Definitely check it out. It's so good. Anyways, guys, I will talk to you later and have a very good one. Bye.